Hello, hello. Is this David?
Yes, David.
Hey, David. How you doing, man? Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, great, man. How's it going?
Good, man. So actually, I was kind of hoping my co-host was going to make this too because it's funny. Like earlier in the year, your amazing song out this year, Invictus. I've been playing it, and I'm like, such a great friggin' tune. And he's not really too much of the musical guy of our crew.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to me, and he's a big TV guy, and he says to me, he goes, dude, there's a band I keep meaning to say to you, like, you need to get on because they were on like my favorite show. And I'm like, okay, like, and he's got a taste in TV shows, shall we say? And he says, yeah, they're called Within Reason. I'm like, well, holy shit! I'm like, dude, there's this killer band, and actually, I think you would like their music. He's like, oh yeah. So I'm like, all right. So let me. I'm constantly playing. I'm constantly hearing from their PR people. I said, let me see what I can do. And he's not here. And I'm like, dude, I want to kick your ass.
That's awesome.
Oh man. So it was One Tree Hill. That's right, One Tree Hill.
Yeah, One Tree Hill. Yeah, we did it. Man, that was actually like 10 years ago. If you can believe that.
Holy, was it that long?
Yeah, it was. Pretty sure we shot that in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we shot that in January of 2007.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it's been a long time. We were on season 4 of that show. I don't know how many seasons they did, but we were on the 4th season.
Wow. So this has been a long ride for you guys.
Oh yeah, we've been doing this a while.
Wow, man, that's awesome. That is awesome. How did that all come about?
The One Tree Hill stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny. Like right around that time was when you remember when like the flip phones, you could instead of having like a regular ringtone, you could have like a song play as your ringtone.
Yes.
There was like a way you could like submit your song at the time. Singular Wireless which is AT&T now. You could like submit a song to them, and they would make like a little 30-second ringtone, and then pay you like, I don't know, like 50 cents a download or whatever. So I was like, well, since we're like such a do-it-yourself band, I was like, well, this is great. Let's just submit it. And they called us like, I don't know, like a month later, and was like, hey, you guys are a finalist in the Singular Wireless One Tree Hill. I can't remember what it was called, some kind of contest. I'm like, sweet. I'm like, what the hell is One Tree Hill? And they were like breaking it down. So we ended up like I guess the guy that ran the show like picked us, and we got to go be on the show. And like, it was funny because the week before we were all like trying to get a crash course on the show to figure out like what we were going to do. But we went, and they picked, we had 2 songs on the show. We performed one of them, and then they had like another song as background. But we went to Wilmington, North Carolina, and shot it. We were there for a week, and then found out when it aired that like 3 million people watch that show every week.
Wow.
So that was a pretty big catalyst for us.
Yeah, like you didn't even realize like you guys were being entered in a contest then.
No, not at all. I mean, I guess I just didn't read all the stuff. I was like, I just, think I just Googled like make your own ringtones, and that was the first site that came up, and I just uploaded a song to it and gave them my phone number.
Wow.
So somebody was looking out for us.
Yeah, that's like one of them things that they always say like this stuff happens by accident, and that's truly the definition.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But I mean, it was cool. I mean, like, so the song that I uploaded wasn't even the song that we did. The guy that ran the show went through our catalog and picked a different song, which was a song called Favorite Sin. That I mean, that song actually, until Invictus came out this year, Favorite Sin was our top selling song on iTunes until this year.
Holy
Still,
cow.
10 years later.
So I mean that really goes to show you like getting on a TV show, how much it can really change things for you.
Yeah, no doubt. I remember one of the guys on the show, his name was Chad Michael Murray, and he was kind of like, and I had recognized him when we got there, and I guess he was kind of like that teen idol kind of movie star, I guess. But okay. he did say something to me. He was like, hey, he's like, I guess you think you're a big deal now. And I was just kind of like, I mean, whatever. And he was like, I'm just kidding. He's like, 'cause you are, man. He's like, this is going to do something for y'all. And he was right. I mean, our iTunes went through the roof. The only thing is, we were kind of young. Like, we had been a band like not even 2 years yet, so we didn't really have the knowledge that we have now. So I kind of wish we would have got some DVD points or something. But we were just like, whatever. Y'all can, they picked up on it, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Nice. Now, you guys actually also won another contest, Gig of a Lifetime. So was this before or after that?
This was after. That was in 2013.
Okay.
That was they ran that for, I think, Microsoft, I think, was a big sponsor of it. They ran that because it's called Gig of a Lifetime, and they ran it for 3 years. The first year they did it, some friends of ours, a band from Atlanta called Almost Kings, won, and they got to go perform like during Grammy Live, and I think they were there like 2 or 3 days. So the next year we said, well, screw it, man, let's just enter it and see if we can win this thing. And we ended up, I think we like outvoted everybody by like 1.5 million point votes or something insane like that. So we went out there, and the plan was we would go shoot a commercial for the Microsoft Surface tablet that was releasing, and then we did like a little performance that aired during Grammy week. And somehow we just like sweet talked our way into staying out there for 2 weeks. And ended up like going to the red carpet and like going to the Grammy. They did all this crazy stuff that like wasn't involved and like included in the prize. And I think the next year was the last year they did it. I felt like we kind of went in there and blew it up to the point where I think Microsoft was like, that was really expensive what we did with them. But, I mean, you don't know till you ask. We just started asking questions. And they were like, yeah, that might be a good idea. It's almost like we were changing the concept for them. I was like, yeah, I think it'd be really cool if we did the red carpet. And they were like, yeah, it might be.
That's awesome.
So basically, we bullshitted our way into about 7 extra days out there.
Oh, that's great. Good for you, man. That is awesome. Yeah. So now, I mean, with the way the music business is, I mean, let's face it, it's kind of crappy. Do you guys like now kind of like keep looking for these type of contests to try to get your name out there?
Not really anymore. One thing about the Grammy thing, that was a really cool opportunity for us. And one thing that we thought about that particular contest was if we can get ourselves in a position where basically we looked at it like this: if we can get a free flight to LA and get a week in front of some people that are important, then that's more of a prize to us really than, being a part of the Grammys. Not that being a part of the Grammys wasn't awesome, but one thing that we kind of went through with that is it was a fan vote kind of situation. Right. And we kind of made the decision. I'm like, I really don't want to put our fan base through something like that again. Wow. So that was kind of our finale when it comes to contests like that.
Yeah, it's funny because there's a contest out here, like a Best of Philly type contest, and one of our sponsors, a good friend of mine, he owns a comic book store here in the Philadelphia area, and it was actually in the movie Unbreakable, and he's won it like the last 5 years in a row. So the contest started like 6 weeks ago, and it's got all different categories. And I'm looking through it one day. I'm like, I see best radio personality. I'm like, well, shit. Like, why not throw my name in the hat? So I throw my name in the hat, and then like next thing I know, I'm in first place. But then it becomes like it's a long contest, and it's like every day. It's like, please vote, please vote, please vote, and it's just badgering my fans and friends. It's like, and it ended last night at midnight, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching the Eagles game. I'm like, just let everybody know this is my final post. Like, there's 2 hours to go. I'm gonna watch the Eagles. I'm going to bed. Sorry for being a pain in the ass.
Did you win?
You know what? They don't announce now winners for 2 weeks.
Hopefully you'll win.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild. Like what they do is, like, for the first 5 weeks of the contest, you can see who's winning, which I was winning going into the last week, and then the last week it goes dark, and you don't know who's got what. Yeah,
that's what they did with the Grammy thing. Yeah, they did that with the Grammy. So you don't really know. You just have to stay on top of it, which I get it. I mean, it's like whoever runs that website is just loving the traffic.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the clicks.
That's right.
Oh man. So now, like, you guys really, I have been blowing away everybody with this the song album. I mean, it's really now you guys are truly making a name on your own. You're not depending on TV or contest or anything like that.
Yeah, that's I kind of feel like this record was kind of the first page of a new chapter for our band.
Okay.
You know, we kind of, you know, because we've always been like, you know, we do everything ourselves. And just like any other band, and I do this too when I see younger bands, you know, I keep an eye on a couple of people just because I'm pulling for them. And I noticed that, you know, some of the things that they do is just part of the growing, the phase of being a band that's growing and, you know, into the next level. So I think with this record, it's kind of like we're almost into like the next level of our careers with this album. And that was one thing with our writing with this particular album. You know, we've always written about like things we know about or people we know about or situations. But Chris Dow, our singer, and I, we really we sat down and decided to get really personal on this record. And that's kind of where, you know, the Battlefields, Life, Love, and War concept came from. Is like the majority of the songs on that record are about situations in our personal life.
Right.
And I felt like it was, you know, at some point we knew we were going to have to do that. So we spent a lot of time preparing this record and writing it and making sure that everything was exactly the way we wanted it to sound and say the things we knew we wanted to say. And Invictus was one of those songs that really kind of summed up our struggle as a band from the day we started till the time that song was written.
I'll tell you what, man, that tune, like from the moment I heard it, like, you know, it was when it was sent to me, you know, probably like 6 months ago, whatever it's been, you know, as soon as I gave it that first listen, I was just like, this is a freaking hit, man. This is just a bona fide hit. And like, even now, like when I listen to it, I say to myself, like, you know, there's certain songs you hear in life that you listen to and you say, like, this is just a perfect song from every note, every strum of a guitar to the singing to the lyrics. I mean, just all around, it's got the complete package of perfectness, or whatever that word is. But it's just an amazing, truly amazing song, man. I can't get enough of it.
Appreciate that, man. I'm glad that it touched you that way. You know, it's that song. It was. I tell you, it's a really interesting fact about that one. Is like the first line of that song. It says, "I didn't sell my soul for rock and roll." We had that lyric forever. And we would just sit around and we'd strum that and sing that part and just didn't know where to go with it. Until, you know, we really kind of jumped off the cliff with the personal side of the songs. And we just decided, you know, let's just make it about like kind of our, you know, our triumphs and our struggles of what we do in our careers. And there's the line, you know, it says that I've been 1,000 miles, I've lived, 100 lives, or whatever. It's like, that's a real thing, you know. So it's hard to sing about those 1,000 miles until you've done those 1,000 miles. And that's kind of the concept we came up with when we were doing that song. And we didn't really have a name for it because, like, the word Invictus is never mentioned in the song.
Right.
And the reason we came up with that is I think we were I think we might have been in the studio, you know, trying to come up with something like really unique for that one. And I remember Chris was telling me that he had read a poem about a guy that it was entitled Invictus, which is a term for somebody that's inconquerable.
Wow.
And it just sounded right. So I was like, let's just call it that. So that's how I got its name.
That's wild. Now it kind of sounds like too with this album, like being the fact that you guys decided to go personal and really open up. Was it kind of like almost like a do or die album for you guys, you think, too?
I won't cash all the way in and say yes, but that was there was a little bit of that on our minds, you know, because we had done a lot of stuff prior to this record, and, you know, we've had a lot of success in a lot of different areas, and we didn't have any success in some other areas, but it was like, but at the same time, you know, like almost every record I feel like we do is like a do or die situation. But this one did feel a little different. It was like, let's just lay it all out there and just see if anybody likes it. because you know, a lot of times, and especially in the music businesses these days, there's a lot more to just writing songs, putting a record out, and just, you know, letting the record do its thing. There's so much goes into it with marketing, publicity, and touring, and merchandise, and all that kind of thing. So this one, we just kind of put it out and just said, let's just push it as hard as we can and see if people like it. And if we feel like we're honest with ourselves with the songs, and people don't like it, then I'm okay with that.
Right.
And if they love it, then even better. You know, that's kind of the mind frame we were in with this album.
Do you think it's also been more rewarding for you guys as well because it has been so personal?
I think so. You know, when we do a lot of, I guess when we talk to fans a lot, you know, people are always like, "Hey, this song really means a lot to me," and they really connect to it, and it's fun to, you know, kind of share with them a little bit about where some of those songs came and let them know, like, you know, it's important to know that you're not alone in some of these situations, because that's why we write this song and did an album like this, because you know, we're regular dudes just like everybody else. Like, we have real problems like everybody else. We
Right.
just are lucky enough to have a platform where I can, you know, transpose that into some kind of art and share with other people, and other people kind of connect with it in their own way. And we're super lucky to be able to do something like that. And I love it when we have those conversations with fans.
Nice. Does it still kind of blow you away, like like when I'm sitting here telling you, like, you know, it's such an amazing song, do you just kind of take a step back, like, holy shit, like, I really touched somebody?
Yeah, it always does. Even anytime anybody says anything like that, or even when, like, if we're playing them live and I can hear people singing it over the band, like, that, to me, that still blows me away.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like our own little personal things that we hold so close to us, and we finally decided just to let it go, and people are, you know, they've listened to it enough where they know all the words, or they can, you know, kind of sing the guitar solo with you. You know,
Nice.
that's a really cool thing. Yeah.
Especially when people are singing along to the guitar solo. That's always.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that in my car. Like, it's crazy. I drive my wife crazy when I do that.
Oh, man. So now, there was something else that you're involved in, too, speaking of wife, which when I saw you were involved with this, I requested to talk to you specifically because I saw you're also involved in this documentary about addiction you're, like, co-producing. Mm-hmm. Now, how did that come about?
So I've always kind of, like, been fascinated with movies and film, like, my whole life. And I really kind of dove into it head first, I guess about 4 years ago. So, like, I do a lot of, just about every kind of video you see from our band, like, I've had something to do with it. My first real big one is we had a single on our last record called Here Comes the Light, and we had a big production video on that. And I produced that video and wrote a lot of that, and was actually shot a lot of it too, and was in the video. But you know, I kind of, like, really got into it then, and then I started doing some short films, and the Recovering Hope documentary that it actually came out yesterday. It premiered here in Birmingham yesterday. It was kind of a fluky kind of thing. Like, there was a guy, the director of the film, put an ad out in the kind of the local classifieds here in Birmingham looking for a film editor, and I was just kind of on my computer when it came up, and I just hit him up and was like, man, I'm interested if you need somebody. And he sent me some footage of what he was doing, and I ended up having a meeting with him, and I was going through this footage and realized that it was about a heroin addiction. And here in Birmingham, like, it's a massive problem, like, massive, like, it's epidemic status in Birmingham. Yeah, so I really got involved with it, and it's really taken over the country. So I had to, like, get involved with more than just the film to kind of make the film what it is. So I I'm really big in some of the recovery communities around town, and some of the people in the film, like, kind of took me one day and took me through the life of a heroin addict, like, around town, and it really opened my eyes to, like, how insane this issue is. So it's just kind of grown from that. You know, it's in the film, it focuses on, like, the recovery aspect of addiction and how, you know, everybody knows there's a heroin problem. I mean, anywhere in the country, the news is talking about it. You're seeing documentaries of just, they call them war stories, just how bad people are, and this is a problem, and people are dying, but nobody ever really touches on a solution, which is, you know, acquiring and maintaining long-term recovery. And that's what our film bases the entire story is. You know, there is a solution to this problem. Here's 6 people that are in recovery that have found the solution, and that's the message that we're trying to send in that film.
Nice. Yeah, because actually, stepson is an addict, and he actually just got out of like his 12th or 13th rehab like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this has been going on for about 8 years now. And my wife actually runs a local chapter here of heroin awareness. So that's when I saw that, I was just like, wow, you know, something I wrote in a book.
That's great.
Yeah. Now, where can people see that or get that movie? Or
well, we're waiting on our release date. We've our distributor is going through iTunes and Amazon Video. We're looking potentially in January, which should be released on those platforms. Netflix has it, and Netflix is kind of its own little monster when it comes to film. Kind of what they do is, you know, you send them a private screener to the movie, and they watch it, and they decide if they want it or not. So it's kind of in their hands. Like they currently have the film. We just kind of are standing by, waiting to see if it's a yes or a no at this point.
Wow. Yeah, it's such a it's a sad and angering situation, but at the same time, it really is.
It is, and what's even crazier is like we did we premiered the film yesterday, and we did 2 sold out screenings of it. And I think a lot of people that were there were just kind of interested in just the addiction thing in general because it's a problem. And I think they got a real education on like they didn't really see this side, you know, of the process, which is important. You know, that's the goal, is to kind of educate people on, you know, that addiction is not necessarily, I guess the best way I could put it, it's not a question of somebody's character as a person as much as it's kind of like a disease, you know. So that's one thing, is like most people say, oh, this guy's on heroin, you know, he's a piece of trash, and you know he's got a death sentence. But it's not. That guy could be a great guy. He's just dealing with something right now that is rewiring his brain, that he has to act the way he's acting and do the things he's doing because he's in survival mode. Right. And that's an education we're trying to give people.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye out for that because I know we both want to say it. So, and we'll spread the word about that as well as
the
whole band. So now something else that, speaking of video, something you're really big into on your YouTube channel is lyric videos. You're more, I seem more focused on the lyric videos than actual videos.
Yeah, that's something we decided to do with this album, because like doing a music video is really expensive and it's really time consuming. And we wanted to kind of share the music with, you know, the entire record. A lyric video, I could really do one of those in about a day. It's just really coming up with the concept. And I think it's really cool that people can watch the video and see what the actual lyrics are instead of kind of guessing at it.
Right.
And it's just another platform where you can share music. And that was really cool when the record was getting ready to come out. We would slowly kind of release a song by song kind of thing. Like, here's one more new one coming out. And then, you know, you can kind of preview the music before the record comes out. And I just think it's something neat. I always like watching them. Or if I'm ever interested in like the lyrics of a song, YouTube's where everybody goes. So as much content as we can get on there, the better.
Absolutely. Now, how do you think that's probably one of the biggest platforms for you guys is YouTube?
Without question. I think YouTube and Spotify right now are at the top as far as getting actual people to listen to the music.
Right.
Because it's easy to, it's something you can just type in and search for right on your phone. I mean, if you really think about it, I do it every day, you know. If I'm talking about a band with somebody and they're like, oh, I've never heard that song, and I'm like, hang on a second, and I pull my phone out and I search YouTube and I find it and I play it.
It's so
crazy. It's almost like you have to take it. What's that?
It's just so crazy what has happened with the whole music and phones. Unless people can instantly access it on their phone, they don't care.
Yeah, that's one thing that's like one thing I've always said. It's like we live in a world where we have to take advantage of a situation where we can literally put our music in people's pockets as they walk down the street. Like that's a situation we have to take advantage of.
Yeah, it's crazy because I sit there with our website and all, and then you can watch like where when people are live on your site, you can see like where they're coming from, whether it's a phone or a tablet or a desktop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm constantly pointing to my wife. I'm like, look at this. And it's always probably at 75% phones. And I just shake my head because I can't stand to look at stuff on my phone because it's so small. I'm like, I need a screen. Mm-hmm. I need a screen. Give me a screen.
Yeah.
People are just on that phone.
I'm the same way. And that's like, because, I built our website for our band, and it's like, I had to, spend an extra amount of time on like the mobile optimized version of that because I know people are going to be looking this up. They could, they're on YouTube and they see the band, or they're on their Facebook page and they see the band and they click on the website. Well, it's going to send them to a mobile version of the phone, onto their phone. So you've got to figure out a way, to format that the right way so people, it's just not busy. There's like all these new aspects of music that 10 years ago didn't even exist. And it's like every day you have to stay sharp, and you got to have your finger on the pulse of all these things that are going on, because it's very easy to get left behind. And if you get left behind, then it just makes your job, 10 times harder.
Right. Now, whose job is that? Is that you or Chris, or both of you guys that constantly stay on the pulse with this stuff?
We both do it. As far as like a lot of the digital aspects of it, I would say I do about 99% of it. Chris is really big on Twitter. I'm kind of a Twitter guy. I feel like I've got so much going on the like the Facebook and the Instagram and all this kind of stuff that I don't really probably use Twitter as much as I probably should as an artist. But Chris is really good at that. He's really good at like, starting conversations with the fans and stuff on Twitter, like being very accessible. And that's one thing we kind of pride ourselves on. It's like, if you've got a question, like send us a message on any of these platforms, because somebody from the band's going to respond. It's not going to be an assistant to a manager or somebody. It's going to be one of us.
Now, that's something too. Like bands really have to do nowadays, don't they? Like they need to like sit down and like split up these jobs and these social media type things and YouTube type things. You know what I mean? It's like it becomes like really a full-time job. It's not just about writing music and recording and playing anymore.
Yeah, God, this is going to sound crazy, but I would think, like, as a musician, the music part of it is like 25% of the job.
Wow. That's scary.
But you got to get that 25% of the job right.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
You got to make sure that 25 is on point.
Oh, man. So, all right. So where can we send everybody to get Within Reason's music, the album, also to look for your documentary coming out hopefully in January?
Yeah. So as far as Within Reason is concerned, our website is withinreasonmusic.com. On that website, we have all of the lyric videos that we were talking about for all the music. So you can literally go on the front page of that site and watch all the lyric videos for those songs. We have a video page on there as well. So there's some of the older songs. We have all those videos on there. You can buy the music. We have a merchandise store on there. We have a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. We do all that stuff. Spotify's a really good place. They have all of our stuff on there too. Or you can just do it old school and just go to Google and type Within Reason. It'll pop up, I promise. Yeah, so we try to be everywhere. We try to, as many platforms as we can try to be on to deliver content. That's kind of where we are with the band. And even on the website, like we have we've got a contact form on the website. If you have a question about the band or you just want to say something or insult us or whatever you want to do, like that comes directly to the band. That's not going to a manager or an agent. That's going directly to the band, and we respond to all that stuff.
Nice.
And we've got an amazing community, which is, we call it the WRFC, which is the Within Reason fan community. We've got a Facebook community on that. I guess it's a fan club, but we like to call it a community because it's like we're involved. And it's basically like a group on Facebook that a lot of our fans are in the group, and they share stuff about the band, ask questions. The band's very active on there.
Nice.
And we have like special events. So if like we're touring and we're in Philadelphia, you can, if you're in the fan community, you can see like, oh, well, you know, the show tonight starts at 8:00, but if you want to come hang out and grab a bite to eat, we'll be at this place, you know, at 4:30 to 6:30 hanging out. If you want to come by and just chill or whatever, you know, we're real big into that because the way we always kind of see it is you could have the fastest race car in the world, but if you don't have gas in that race car, then it's not going anywhere. And we consider like our fans are our fuel to our race car. So we have to have them, and we want as many as we can have. So we try to be as personal as we can with every one of them.
Now, do you guys do? I talked to somebody. What was his name? Wayne Revis. I forget the band. He used to be a Mushroom Head, but he said the night of the interview, he was literally out delivering CDs to fans, going to their houses.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so great. Like, I mean, we do things like that. Like, I mean, I've met fans that live in Birmingham that would buy a T-shirt from the store on our website, and I'm like, well, look, we're going downtown to watch some of our friends play. If you want to come, just come hang out, and I'll bring your shirt with me and just meet up with me, and you don't have to pay the $4 shipping or whatever.
Nice.
Hand delivered T-shirt. I mean, God, can you imagine like getting a hand-delivered T-shirt from somebody in a band that you like? That's like the coolest thing ever to me.
And that also leads to a photo op to be put on social media. So it's all smart marketing all the way around.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that on the back end, but it comes from a good place, I promise.
Absolutely. Now, what do you guys?
But the movie, sorry, let me drop the movie information first. I got carried away. So yeah, the movie is really easy. It's recoveringhopemovie.com. You can get all your information there. It's got, it's got the trailer and a little bit about the movie and the filmmakers and stuff like that. And there's some information on like the addiction and recovery process on there. So there's a lot of educational reasons on that website too. So that's where you can check that out.
Nice. And 2018, it's almost here. What are you guys going to be doing for 2018? More music, touring, both?
Well, we're always writing. So I don't know if we're going to get back in the studio. I'd like to. I think we may do a little bit of different process this year when it comes to recording, as we've kind of discussed, like spending our extra time maybe recording a song at different, if we've got like 2 weeks off, maybe let's go in the studio and lay some tracks down and instead of going in at a lengthy period of time. Because with Battlefields, trying to think how long it took us to do that. I think we spent about 9 months. Like we took almost the whole year of last year off focusing on that album.
Wow.
So this year, but it was a really important process for us. We wanted to make sure everything was right. This time around, like we've got so much stuff because, we spent 9 months on that record, but in between all that, we're writing stuff that didn't fit that album. So there's all this music that we have that is not out yet. So we're going to space it out and record some stuff, and we might release some of it early. But for 2018, I would like to say that we're going to be on the road a lot. I'd like to do 250 shows at minimum in 2018. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hopefully Philly's in that 250.
I'm sure it is. I feel like we hit Philly every time we go out. I like to go up there.
Nice.
My brother-in-law is like the biggest Eagles fan in the world, so I just love to go up there and get to see him.
That's awesome.
Hopefully, but we do. Yeah, we do. I mean, I'd like to hit the whole country. We don't hit the West Coast as much as I'd like. So in 2018, I think we're going to try to make a move to really hit the West Coast a little bit harder. I think in 2015, I don't think we got to it one time. So I would expect we're going to try to hit, the West Coast pretty hard in 18.
Oh, cool. Good. Yeah, as much as we want to see here in Philly, the West Coast is very important.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I'm sure we'll be in Philly.
Cool.
I'll make sure to let you know ahead of time.
Yeah.
I might hand deliver a T-shirt to you.
There you go. And we'll go get some food and have a nice little couple cold ones maybe. You never know. Nice. Cool. Well, David, dude, thank you so much for doing this, and was great to learn about you guys, and we're gonna play some more music for you. Keep that music going for you.
Yeah, I appreciate the chat, and I truly appreciate you supporting the band and playing the song, and it means a lot to us for sure.
Absolutely. And you know what, dude? Can I get you to cut an ID? Let's prick my co-host balls a little bit. Can you be like, hey, this is David from Within Reason, and like, where the fuck are you, Nick?
Okay. Where the fuck are you, Nick? Okay.
Yeah.
You ready? Me go ahead and do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, this is David from Within Reason, and where the fuck are you, Nick?
Oh, you know what? I guess you should put in there, too, like you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Hey, this is David from Within Reason. You're listening to Totally Driven Radio. And where the fuck are you, Nick?
That's awesome. Dude, thanks so much, man. That works.
Oh, you got it, man.
Awesome. I'm going to break his balls unmercifully now.
I love it.
Dude, thanks again, man, and good luck with everything, and hope to see you in 2018.
All right, thanks. Yeah.
Take care.